high standard for us to follow. I really hope that some of what we're doing is connecting to the work that you're doing in the community. Because as everyone's aware, many of the people that we work with are part of the broader community in New Zealand. And I think there's lots of opportunities for closer collaboration. So, kia ora whānau, welcome to this final plenary session for today. It's a real privilege to be here today, and it's particularly a privilege to work with Graham Smith of ALEC, and also to bring with me three of our trade training instructors to really share their stories about the work that we're doing in embedding literacy and numeracy in our trade training. So my name is Rachel Bulliff, and I'm based in Wellington, and more so now I'm seem to be zipping around the country a little bit more with our staff who are doing this work. So just want to first of all address our session title. We titled it, But You Might Ask a Painting Instructor to Teach Literacy and Numeracy, and it was a little bit of a cheeky rejoinder to, there was a report from the NRDC a couple of years ago, 2006, but you wouldn't ask a maths teacher to teach plastering. And it has caused us a few contentious moments at work, where people challenge why should they be teaching literacy and numeracy when their specialty is a trade. But in reality, we have asked our trade training instructors, who range from expertise in carpentry to agriculture to baking, bread to forestry, all range of manner of different trades. We have asked them to learn how to and then implement embedding literacy and numeracy training within their trade contexts. And you know, the proof of the pudding really is in the results that they are producing with their learners, and they'll be speaking more about that in this presentation. But I really want to emphasise that they have taken this on with a passion, and you know, they have some of the most challenged and challenging learners that you can possibly work with in New Zealand. And many of you will be aware of that, but it's just something I want to underline. They don't get up and have the most easy of learners to work with, have people with significant challenges. Many of those challenges occurred way before they came to us. Just to give you some context about the department, our most prominent goal at the moment is to reduce reading by 25% by the year 2017. And as part of that, over 7,000 prisoners per annum participate in some form of trade training or employment experience. And the goal of that is obviously to provide them some productive work experience, but more importantly, training towards national qualifications so that they are in a better position to seek and obtain employment on release, because we know employment provides people with some protection against the likelihood of them reoffending. Since 2010, in association with ALEC, Corrections has upskilled nearly 90 of our trade training instructors. So we have about 300 of trade training instructors at any one time. 90 of them have participated in the National Certificate in Adult Literacy and Numeracy Education, or NCALNE. And you know, we've coined a particular term for that training within our institution called Corrections Embedded Literacy and Numeracy Training, or CELT. So if you hear us talk about CELT instructors, that's that cohort within our wider group. And these instructors, we recently did some professional development with them here at the National Centre, and some of the feedback that came through loud and clear from them is that their learners have really developed the capacity to understand their trade training and apply that trade training to their situation. So that understanding has been really crucial. One of the other things is that they've learned the specific vocabulary of their trade, and also the relevant maths or numeracy that applies to that trade. They also report that they have become better communicators, decision makers and leaders in their own lives. And from a statistical perspective, our assessment data is showing that between 25 and 35% of learners who sit the second assessment or summative assessment are showing statistically significant gain. So across all different ways of measuring progress for learners, we're seeing really good results. So today's presentation is not really about all that. What today's presentation is about is our instructors who, through participating in the CALC program, have really been innovative and creative in developing resources to better deliver this embedded literacy and numeracy training for their learners. And many of our instructors work in classrooms or workshops, but the vast majority work in an on-job role. So that training as they're delivering a commercial output, and they also happen to be, or not happen to be, their other primary responsibilities are also trained as corrections officers, so have responsibility for the care and security of their learners at all times in our institution. So, just before I move on to introducing our instructors, I really would like to just say briefly a little bit about our relationship with ALEC. And I want to firstly acknowledge the staff from the Tertiary Education Commission for firstly introducing us to Graham and his team, and secondly for supporting the ongoing professional development of our instructors over the last 3 years. It's been a really fantastic relationship. And I think the main thing I want to acknowledge is that the first cohort we had was a room full of staunch instructors who seemed to be there with both arms twisted behind their backs and also folded across their chests in protest at having to be doing this training. And I don't think they said a word for the first day, and it's testament to Graham's passion, enthusiasm and relationship building skills that we eventually broke the ice. And some of the instructors here today might recall that experience and have become what we now call converts, our literacy and numeracy, or embedded literacy and numeracy converts. And I love watching that process of conversion happen in each cohort. But I'm glad to say that we have fewer and fewer staunch candidates and more enthusiastic people coming to each cohort because the word is spreading. So now I'd just like to invite Graham to briefly outline the ALEC kaupapa and also the embedded literacy model that we've been working with. It's been very effective.